Welcome to a new episode of Just Myself and Lenka, and we are going to give you an update of where we are right now. Some exciting news: Lenka has left Spain. Lenka is no longer traveling in Spain, but she is now traveling in the UK. And I have some news, but let's start with Lenka. Where are you? What are you doing? And did you enjoy your trip to Spain?
Well, as you said, in the UK. I took my van and I took my kitty and I drove it from Czech Republic over to the UK. So obviously I first returned from Spain. I spent about a month in Czech Republic. I was house sitting for my mom and I was doing some much needed van life maintenance. I got some upgrades on the van, which is pretty awesome. Stronger solar, stronger battery, new fan, a couple little new shelves and bits and bobs. So it feels even more like a home. It fits so better, and every single day that I'm now in the van, I'm like looking around. I'm like, this is pretty awesome. Like there's still few little things that when I'm coming back, I will probably want to get done. And I think it's like an ongoing project every day. I'm like, oh, maybe I could get this one. Then how much would that cost? Is it possible? But I guess it's every we do that in our houses as well, where we like new lick of paint, a little bit of a new furniture, and spruce this up. So luckily it's on a much smaller scale, and sometimes you need to be a little bit more inventive in how you do these upgrades. But yeah, I then started figuring out all the legal, practical paperwork of taking a van, European van, and a cat over to UK and to be able to travel around here. For the first time ever, having to get a visa, or at least like an electronic application filling out. So that was new for me. And making sure that the cat has all the paperwork and that the van has all the paperwork. So that was fun. And obviously, then getting on a ferry, which was exciting. And most importantly, then getting over driving on the left in a European car, which I was a bit anxious about. But after the first roundabout, that I did go the right way, meaning the left way, it's all good. So right now I'm in Newcastle. I have friends here. I've been attending events here, and I'm slowly packing my bags and saying goodbyes. And I'm heading up to Scotland, where I'm planning to spend the next couple of weeks, maybe a month or so. No plan, no agenda, just enjoying the wilderness. So that is my update. But also, how about you, Natalie? So last time when we were talking, you just announced that you have made a decision with your husband to move to South Africa, and you kind of started looking in what does it entail, what do we need, how does it work, properties, visas, permissions. So where are you with that?
Oh, we've had some really exciting news. But before that happens, I just want to share something. Is when Lenka arrived in the UK, she actually drove past where we live and she came and spent the night in her van. Bless her, she was exhausted. But I got to see the inside of her van, and it is cozy, it's lovely, and I got to meet the kitty cat, which is, of course, the most important thing. Lenka just came along for the ride, but it was all about the kitty cat. So I just wanted to say I have finally seen Lenka's van, having heard so much about it. It's a real thing. It is real. It's not an imagination. But it was just lovely to have Lenka come and park outside our place, spend the night. Unfortunately, we didn't get to spend as much time together as I would have liked, but these things happen. But it was really great. And we are planning, fingers crossed, to actually connect together before I leave. Oh, you see, there's a segue into what I'm going to talk about. And Lenka leaves the UK, and hopefully we can do an episode with us together. Don't hold your breath, but it is something that we are planning. So that could be really exciting. But for our exciting news is we, as Lenka mentioned, we decided we're going to move back to South Africa. I know why. politics there are crazy, but there's just a calling of needing to go back to South Africa. And we've had a beautiful guest talking about listening to your heart and connecting to your heart. And this is one of the things that it's my heart is calling. It's if I think with my brain, I'm like, I'm not going. This is not going to happen. It's too complicated, too much politics. Or if I listen to my heart, it's something that we really need to do. So that is an episode worth listening to. But we've decided to go. So we trekked to London, which was a whole day for a 5-minute interview to put in our application for our visa, or my husband's visa, should I say. And last week, it arrived in the post. We've heard nothing. We've heard absolutely nothing until my husband got a message saying, your package from Global will be delivered tomorrow. Of course, neither one of us slept that night because, like, do we or don't we? Have we or haven't we? And we didn't hear anything. But yes, it's all in his passport. It's valid for 2 years. So we are so excited about that. And we have been looking at places. So traveling is going to be a huge thing. So it'd be great, like Lenka. We will be traveling. So where will I be while we're recording? But I won't be in a van. I'm even slumming it even worse. It will be in a tent. And maybe hotels as well. But we're not having a van because we're just going to travel for a bit. We have plan A through Z of what we're wanting to do in South Africa. So we haven't quite committed to it, hence the traveling. But one thing that I am really noticing is the grieving process of saying goodbye to something, saying goodbye and getting rid of things, and just realizing who won't be around anymore, who's around, who's, what do we have here that we won't have there? And that is part of the process. But it's also been really, really, really stressful, is just waiting for that visa and being in that limbo, and now dealing with the selling of the house. So I'm actually in the process of putting the house on the market. So yes, it hasn't been smooth sailing emotionally. It's been like a roller coaster with the hoops. It's not just up and down, but there's actually all the hoops that go with it. And it's the getting really angry and then getting really sad and getting really excited and really fearful and having the brain going off in one direction, the heart going off in another direction, and just the uncertainty. But one thing that we are both looking forward to is the uncertainty, because for the first time in our lives, we don't have responsibility other than being kids. But as an adult, we don't have responsibilities. We don't have pets to look after. We've not had kids, so I've not had to deal with that. We won't have bills. We won't have mortgages. We won't have anything like that. And we are really excited about doing the traveling, because I've never really traveled around South Africa. It's not something that my family did. And it's a great way to get back into South Africa, and a great way for my husband to really start to find. So this roller coaster ride has been uncomfortable, upside down, and all over the place, but we're still on it. We buckled in, we grabbed on tight, white knuckled right, but we're still on it. So yes, we are in the next process now. We've had the visa. Now it's really happening, and it feels real and scary and exciting. So hold on to your seats, people, because this is going to be some changes over the next, well, not so much over the next few months, but for the rest of the year. There's going to be big changes. And yeah, who knows where our next time, or couple of episodes down where it's just me and Lenka, where I'll be talking from. That could be exciting. I got to work on internet. But this is where we are right now. But one question I wanted to ask you, Lenka, is, having traveled around Spain and then gone back to Czech Republic and now in the UK, can you give us some really positives about your van life and maybe some peeves about van life?
Yeah, so pretty much mostly just positives. I love it every single day. I am outside of the van. I look at it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is mine. Like, this is my life. I can really do it. I talk to people. I was at a conference, and obviously people are like, oh, I used to live in UK. Where am I now? What am I doing? I'm like, well, I live in a van. And like, you came with a van? Yeah, I came over with a van with a cat. Oh my gosh, I really do that. So it genuinely is incredible. I think I'm one of those lucky people in a way that I don't find solitude in any way distressing. So lots of solo travelers at some point will feel like, it's cool, but I really struggle missing people. And I'm like, no, just like I have plenty of people. I can talk online, I can meet people, and I'm like so happy to just be far away from human beings and just me, myself, my cat somewhere in nature. Plus, with some of the upgrades that I done to the van, a lot less dependent on location where I would need electricity to power up my Starlink and to be able to work. So that's wonderful. I think it's just the practicalities of van life, also, emptying your pee bucket and finding places to go to toilet. There's one of those things that, it's ongoing, like working with your bowel movements to planning, is there a cafe? Is there a public toilet? Which actually, big difference. Spain does not do public toilets. They don't do anything, any village, any town, even Barcelona. You will rarely find any public toilets. The rule is you just go to a cafe, you order a little cafe solo, you pay €1 or so, and you go to toilet. Where in the UK it was lovely that actually lots of even tiny little villages have public toilets that are pretty much open all year round, 24/7. They're reasonably clean. And it was really lovely to be able to park and then just, walk a little bit to get to the toilet. So that's one thing that obviously it was by choice not to have a complex and big and spacious toilet system. I do have basic. I really don't struggle as much with shower as much as, this basics. But really, I can't think of any other negatives. One thing that got my blood boiling a little bit was when I first announced that I'm heading over to UK. The amount of unsolicited feedback or comments from people, don't go to UK, van life in UK is awful, people are just not so friendly, just don't go to UK. I was like, well, I understand that UK will be different, it will be maybe a bit more expensive, maybe a bit more restricted, but it has different pros compared to other European countries. And then the response, well, UK is not European. I'm like, okay, I think I'm done with this conversation. And yeah, it was definitely, I had to be a little bit more careful to look for location, but I still managed to find park ups on the beach, park ups next to a quarry. I still managed to sleep on a cliff edge. And obviously I'm heading over to Scotland where wild camping is legal. So pretty much I can, as long as it's not forbidden, I can park wherever I want. So I'm quite excited to really go off the grid and see how long I can live in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, it sounds so amazing. And it doesn't matter what you do, there's always unsolicited advice. So, yeah, it's just ignoring that and finding your own way and following your where you wanting to go. So, I love how you shared that and your toilet experiences.
Maybe too much information, but to ask, and this is the only thing that I'm like, it would be nice not to have to deal with the bucket every couple of days, and don't worry, like, will it overflow? Do I need to do it today? Can I leave another day? But other than that, genuinely, like, I have a wonderful comfy bed. I have all the luxuries. I always say that I'll have ultimate freedom. I can pretty much go anywhere. I don't have a plan right now, so I really enjoy just winging it and seeing wherever the road will take me. But at the end of the day, I have my comfy bed, I have all my stuff, I have obviously my cat, but I have all my luxuries in this little home, so I don't need to go to a hotel room and worry about, will the bed be soft enough, and unpacking my suitcase and everything. So It is wonderful, and I'm just every time I'm looking around and I'm like, this is pretty damn awesome. And I got a few more planties, so actually it starts looking really homey, like compared to how it was before when I went in Spain. With few of the additions, it really starts feeling like tiny little room rather than like a metal can on wheels. It really feels like so cozy.
But that's what we're all about, is the honest. And these are things that you are having to experience and really deal with and work out ways to live. And van life is so different to living, and we always want to be honest and sharing what we're experiencing, and I think that's important. So yes, your toilet experiences are good. And you never know, one of our listeners might be thinking about doing van life, and that can be something that they can think about. So thank you for sharing. This is what it's about.
This is Welcome to Our Lives. And I'm curious, you mentioned, the emotions of packing and letting go of things and the emotional roller coaster. But again, if someone is considering maybe big move to a different country, to a foreign country, what are the reasons for you? And obviously, it's not necessarily the practical reasons of UK, but what are the things that you're looking forward to being in South Africa? What are you hoping that the new life is going to enable you to do once all this chaos is done? What is the motivation really driving you and allowing you to push through and handle all of these challenges and be like, we're doing it because the light at the end of the tunnel is.
Peace, quiet, slow life, nature, living off grid, and being just finding a community that is all about being human. One of the plans that we are wanting to do, it's not definite yet, but it is one of the plans, is actually to create a retreat where people can come and heal their hearts and heal their souls. But it's about living out in the middle of nowhere with very few people around, and just wanting to get back into living with the rhythm of the earth and growing our own stuff and creating our own living spaces. So my husband will make most of our furniture. I will do most of the soft furnishings, but it's not about living primitively. We're still going to have electricity. We're still going to have internet. I hope, if I can work it out. We're still going to have, proper fridges, and we're going to looking at compost toilets, and they can be really good because that's more sustainable. You use less water. We're going to live off solar, but we can have, so it's combining the luxuries and the really simple way of living. And we want to be comfortable, and that is what's keeping me going. Is just, we've seen an area that we love, and I just visualize that area. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's just mountains and a river, and I'm wanting to grow an orchard. I've always wanted my own orchard, and it was keeping us going. And the traveling that we're going to do is, we have heard of and been connected to other people who are living in a similar way, and we're going to see, is where they are a better idea than where we're going. So like, I've got plan A, B, C, D, and E, and I think right down to Z, but we do have a plan A. So that is what keeps me going. That is what, when I am trying to give away stuff or sell stuff or just work out, am I going to keep something, and just thinking about things like Amazon and ordering or getting books or bits and pieces that I use. I just think about those mountains. I just think about that. And one of the things that I've recently gone into is sewing. I love sewing, and material in the UK is ridiculously priced. And in South Africa, it's as cheap as chips. So, yes, I can go and sew to my heart's content, and it won't cost me a fortune. But so that is one of the things, but it's basically getting back to slow and just connecting with the rhythm of my body, the rhythm of the land, and the rhythm of the seasons, and really finding a way to connect modern with, I guess, old fashioned, I guess, and but just finding that connection. So that's what keeps me going on this white knuckle roller coaster ride.
I love it. And I'm very curious about our listeners. Do you have any questions for myself and Natalie? But also, have you made a major life change, life living situation change, be it moving into a van, into a caravan, into a motorhome, into scaling down, downsizing to mobile home, living off grid? Any experiences that you would love to share with us? We would love to hear about any wild and alternative way of living that really made you feel alive and make you feel like I am living my truth, I'm living my life according to my own rules. I just ripped off the playbook and be like, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm living. What motivated you, and how's it going? We would love to hear your stories as well. Either drop them in comments, send us a message, and if you have something more to share, then please join us on the podcast. If you live on a boat, there in UK there's lots of canals, there's lots of boat houses, houseboats. Do you have one of those? Have you made a switch from a house to a houseboat? Love to know that.
And until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Here is your reminder about our Patreon, where you get all our really beautiful gold nuggets. And today we had a fantastic gold nugget to share. Subscribe to Patreon. The link is in the description below. Hop into the gold nugget section to access all our wonderful gold nuggets. There is also a free section where you can access snippets from past episodes, as well as some great content with tips, advice, and beautiful and wonderful wisdom. Come and join up and be part of the Into Your Life community. We would love to see you there.